Breaking news.
Military observers say the recent invasion
returns to try to find out if there really is
down against
On our outside today, we publish the emancipation message of the President, entire. So far as the proclamation of the Chief Magistrate can accomplish it, the institution of slavery, the one which has caused more trouble in this country than all others combined, is at an end, and the rebellious states in 3 short months. By this act, Abraham Lincoln has immortalized himself. He is entitled to the rank with Washington as a friend to humanity and savior of his country.
Dear brother, the Indians made another attack upon us this morning, about 4 o'clock. The number must have been very great. Had it not been for the 100 citizens now here at old Fort Abercrombie, we should have probably all been massacred. I never knew what it was like to have bullets whistle by my head as thick as hailstones before. They entered the stable right in the face of our guns and took several horses and set fire to some 300 tons of hay, which is now burning. But I hope we shall be able to put it out and save a part if the wind does not rise. We have the women and children all collected in the barracks. They all sleep on the floor. I wish that you could look in and see them. Mr. Hill, the messenger we sent to St. Paul, returned. He brings the first news that we've had since the Indian War commenced. All communication in this country is cut off this year, and it will not be safe for one to travel. I am perfectly worn out, and ought to take my bed instead of penciling this.
Those who want our paper for a year and wish to pay in wheat can do so. Everybody has plenty of wheat, and there's no excuse for being without your county paper. Besides the war news, there is a hot political canvass this fall. Send in your names and your wheat.
Lemon pies. A lady gives the following method of making them. Crust made and placed on tins, the same as for apple pie. Slice very thin half a common-sized lemon. Scatter the peel chopped fine upon the bottom crust among your slices. Stir together enough sweet milk with a heaping tablespoon of flour to make a thin batter. Cover with the crust and bake rather slowly. I like this way of making lemon pie, as the articles of which it is composed are within the means of the most limited housekeeper, without resorting to the niceties that make up the dishes for the rich.
The weekly summary of the news. We have reports of a fight near Sarcoxie, Missouri, in which it seems the rebels got the best of us in the forenoon, but our troops rallied and drove them back in the afternoon. One regiment, said to be the 9th Kansas, displayed the white feather during the fight and was the cause of bad management, which proved to be very fatal to some infantry troops. The fight was a hard one, and the losses were heavy on both sides. A messenger had been sent after the 11th Kansas, which was on the way to Fort Scott, to hurry to the scene of action with all possible dispatch. We have no further particulars.
Among the papers published in costly style by the Smithsonian Institute at Washington is the microscopic plants and animals which live on and in the human body. It describes quite a number of insects. The animal which produces the disease called itch is illustrated by an engraving half an inch in diameter, which shows not only the ugly little fellow's body and legs, but his very toes. When Lieutenant Berryman was sounding the ocean, preparatory to laying the Atlantic telegraph, the quill at the end of his sounding line brought up mud. Upon placing this dust under the microscope, it was discovered to consist of millions of perfect shells, each of which contained a living animal. The Great Union Convention came off at Lawrence last Monday, agreeable to the advertisement, and it was a Union Convention sure enough. It was composed in large degree of sore-headed Republicans, some of whom were candidates before the Republican State Convention, and pro-slavery Democrats of the old border ruffian stripe who laugh at every Union defeat and get drunk for joy at every rebel victory, and the abolitionists who think their plan is the only one that can save the country. Without further ado, here is the ticket. For governor, W.R. Wagstaff of Miami. He's always been a Democrat and is a young man of very limited brains. Congressman M.J. Parrott of Leavenworth. Comment is unnecessary. Mr. Parrott's speech at Topeka in the spring of 1861, in which he declared that slavery had been a commercial and a national blessing, did more to drive his old friends and supporters away from him than anything he ever did. He can date his political downfall from that fateful night. The people know him as well as we do. His disease is a sour stomach. Mark, take a Sedlitz powder. Secretary of State, James Humphrey of Riley. Personally, we like him. But politically, he is a mushroom. He is a young man without ability for the place. He is about the poorest nominee of the convention. Although it was a mass convention, striking off the M, there was only 11 counties represented and only 40 persons took part in the proceedings. The whole thing was a farce, and they have no expectation of electing a single one on their ticket. The conduct of two young ladies in Danville, Kentucky on the occasion of the arrival of the rebels at that place was equal to our idea of Spartan courage. For many months, a beautiful specimen of the national flag has floated from the residence of Mrs. Taylor, an estimable widow lady, and when the rebels took possession of Danville, it was but natural that they should seek to remove the hated emblem. A squad of half a dozen men were sent to Mrs. Taylor's residence to take possession of the flag, but they were confronted at the door of the residence by Miss Maria and Miss Mattie Taylor. The half-dozen returned to their commander and reported it would require a force equal to a full company to capture the flag, and a company was accordingly dispatched to make the capture. Arriving in front of Mrs. Taylor's residence, the commander of the company demanded the surrender of the flag, but the two young ladies again made their appearance. In response to the demand for the flag, the ladies informed their persecutors that they would never surrender it to the rebels, and drawing their pistols, vowed that they would shoot the first rebel that polluted that sacred emblem with his foul touch. The company of rebels retired, leaving the ladies in quiet possession of their flag, which they yet retain.
Eli Thayer has a plan for colonizing the southern states with an armed force, which has been considered at several cabinet sessions and meets with favor by the president and other secretaries. It proposes 100,000 colonists enlist for 6 months, led and supplied by the United States, to hold, occupy, and possess public lands of Florida. Later rumors from Washington say the president contemplates issuing a proclamation making Florida a common plantation and involving laborers, white and black, to sell for that purpose, and will have ample protection from the Army and Navy. The state constitution is to be set aside temporarily, and Florida reduced to a territorial condition. This movement is said to be preliminary to a policy to be adopted hereafter with the other southern states.
The rebels, like a nest of hissing reptiles when they are disturbed, are beginning to squirm and hiss at Lincoln's proclamation. It hurts them, and they know it is just the thing that will finally obliterate them. We see that the militia is being organized in most all portions of the state. Active preparations are being made against the probabilities of attack. We are sorry to say that in this and adjoining counties, nothing has been done as yet. We hope that this matter will no longer be delayed. Many of the people of our county are living in fear. We are assured by the governor that if we organize, we shall have arms and ammunition. If nothing else is accomplished than to quiet the fears of the timid, we shall lose nothing by organizing. 2 or 3 hours twice a week could not be better spent than in drilling. Let us attend to this matter.
Fellow citizens, I appear before you to do little more than to acknowledge the courtesy you pay me and to thank you for it. I can only trust in God that I have made no mistakes. I shall make no attempt on this occasion to sustain what I have done or said by any comment. It is now for the country and the world to pass judgment on it, and maybe take action upon it. In my position I am environed with difficulties, yet they are so scarcely so great as the difficulties of those who, upon the battlefield, are endeavoring to purchase with their blood, lives, and future happiness the prosperity of this country. Let us never forget them.